Stop pre-rejecting yourself and calling it humility. You tell yourself you're just being humble. You don't want to be the loudest person in the room. You just want to stay in your lane. You don't want to seem self-promoting. But let me push back on that for a moment. What if what you're calling humility is actually fear? Shrinking back from an opportunity that God has placed before you, or an idea or a dream He's put in your heart, isn't selfless. It's a sneaky form of selfishness where you're loving your own comfort more than stepping into your calling, where you're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt instead of investing in and serving the people that God has called you to bless. I know because I've done it. I've told myself that I wasn't ready, that someone could do it better than I could. The truth is, I didn't want to feel exposed. I wanted to hide because I loved the safety of the shadows rather than risking falling flat on my face by taking the step of obedience. I loved my perceived sense of safety more than I loved the people that God wanted me to serve. Yes, there are times when God allows us to go through hidden seasons to build up our character and to work things out within our hearts, but God does not call you to intentionally hide the gift that He's placed inside of you. He has called you to steward that gift, to use it, to multiply it. He gave it to you for a reason. Matthew 5 verse 14 says, "You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. Nobody lights a lamp and hides it." But that is what we do all the time with the gifts that God has given us, with the purpose He's placed inside of us, with your leadership. God didn't light you up so you could just dim down for fear of being misunderstood. Shining your light isn't arrogance, it's actually obedience. When I stepped away from my role as a worship pastor, I knew God was calling me into something new. I didn't have all the details. I just knew He wanted me to be uncomfortable and to trust Him and to take the next right step that I knew to take. And honestly, I had so many what ifs circling around in my head. What if I fail? What if I don't have enough money to provide for my family? What if I look stupid? What if people think I'm promoting myself? What if I'm not enough? And those what ifs can paralyze you. But I want you to start thinking through a different what if. What if God uses this to bless someone else? What if this actually succeeds? What if I step into a whole new season of fulfillment and impact and purpose and connection with my family because I said yes to what God had put inside of me? We always focus on the negative what ifs, but we don't spend a lot of time focusing on the better what if. What if God actually is leading me to do this? What if I say yes and I experience God working in my life in a way that I never could have imagined? You see, false humility keeps you from walking in your calling. It keeps you from living out your purpose as an image bearer of God. And other people miss out and suffer when you sit on the gifts that God has given you, because your calling is not about you. The dream God has given you is not about you. It's about the Lord and who He has called you to serve. Your gift is an offering, not a crown. It's not about bringing attention to yourself. It's about offering up that gift back to the Lord in worship and to others in service of God and in a way to bless them. Stewardship isn't just about your money or your time. It's about maximizing your impact for the sake of the gospel. If God has entrusted you with something, which, spoiler alert, He has, an idea, a business, a ministry, a message, it's not your job to bury it in the ground. It's your job to multiply it. You don't have to strive to make something happen, to manipulate your way into a calling, but you do have to surrender and take a step forward. The Word of God says that God directs the steps of the righteous, but when He directs you, it means taking a step. And He directs you as you walk, as you move forward, one step at a time. So I just want to ask you, what are you hiding that God has asked you to steward? Maybe it's starting the ministry that you've been dreaming about, or speaking up at work when you know the Spirit's prompting you to, or it's launching the idea that's been in your journal for 2 years and you haven't done anything with it. Your dreams will die in silence. You've got to start bringing them into the light. That's when the Lord is going to direct you. And maybe He redirects you to a different dream, but you won't know if it just stays hidden in your journal or hidden in your heart. You've got to bring it to the surface. I lead a coaching group for men called the Steadfast Way. And in the Steadfast Way, we have 5 guardrails that help keep us in alignment, moving forward in the direction of our priorities so that we can live out the calling and purpose of God in our lives. And one of those guardrails is steadfast stewardship, so that we can maximize the gifts and the talents and the resources and the time and even the people that God's entrusted us to lead, because we want to make the most of what God has given to us to manage and to lead and to steward. So I want to call you to take action today when it comes to stewardship. I want you to decide what is the one courageous step that you can take this week, whether it's sending the email, having the conversation, talking to somebody about this idea that you've kept buried for years, writing the post, launching the podcast, whatever it is. I want you to tell someone else about it so they can hold you accountable. And I'd love for you to leave a comment here on this YouTube video so we can celebrate you. I'll pray over all the comments that I see come in. I want you to walk in the gifts and the talents that God has entrusted to you. So I want to cheer you on because your light is needed more than ever.